One of the most important steps in protecting your self-worth and energy is becoming fully aware of the environments you place yourself in. Life is not just about what you give to the world, it is also about what the world gives back to you. If you constantly find yourself in spaces where your spirit feels heavy, where your contributions go unnoticed, or where your presence feels more like a burden than a blessing, that is a sign you are in the wrong environment. Think about it. Every room you walk into has energy. Some rooms uplift you, some inspire you, some challenge you to grow, and some quietly suffocate you. If you leave a place feeling drained, unappreciated, or invisible, that is not a coincidence. That is your intuition, your inner compass, trying to alert you that your value is not being honored there. But too often, we ignore these signals because we've been conditioned to endure, to be polite, to stay silent even when our soul is screaming to leave. Recognizing environments that drain you means paying close attention to the patterns. Do you constantly have to prove yourself in that space? Do you feel small, ignored, or undervalued when you're there? Do people only notice your mistakes but overlook your efforts? If your presence is not respected, then your energy is being stolen little by little. You must remember this truth: what you allow will continue. If you tolerate being in draining environments, you are unconsciously teaching others that it's acceptable to treat you with indifference or disrespect. Protecting your energy begins with making a conscious choice, choosing not to remain in places where you are merely surviving instead of thriving. This awareness is not about arrogance, it is about self-respect. Because when you respect your own energy, you begin to realize that not every invitation deserves a yes, not every friendship deserves your loyalty, and not every workplace deserves your years of commitment. You have to become so in tune with yourself that you notice the emotional cost of being somewhere. If the cost is your peace, your joy, or your sense of self-worth, then that place is too expensive for you to remain in. One of the most exhausting battles a person can fight is the constant struggle to fit into places that were never designed for them. Many of us, at some point, have bent ourselves, reshaped our personalities, silenced our truths, and dimmed our light just to be accepted. We convince ourselves that if we change a little more, if we stay quiet a little longer, if we smile even when it hurts, then maybe, just maybe, we'll finally be seen and valued. But the harsh reality is this: if you have to force yourself to fit in, you are already in the wrong place. Fitting in should never come at the cost of your authenticity. When you compromise your identity for acceptance, you are teaching yourself to believe that who you truly are is not enough. You shrink your voice, hide your strengths, and suppress your emotions, all for the sake of being tolerated by people who were never meant to celebrate you in the first place. Over time, this not only drains your energy, but also erodes your sense of self-worth. Think about it. Why should you have to apologize for being yourself? Why should you carry the weight of pretending when the right people will embrace you as you are, flaws and all? Forcing yourself into spaces where you don't belong is like trying to water a plant in soil that cannot nourish it. No matter how much effort you put in, you will never thrive there. True belonging is not about adjusting yourself to fit the mold of others. It's about being accepted in your natural state. You should be in rooms where your laughter is not too loud, where your ideas are not dismissed, where your dreams are not ridiculed. You deserve to stand in spaces that don't require you to dilute your brilliance in order to be comfortable. The tragedy of forcing yourself to fit in is that you end up losing yourself in the process. You wear masks so often that you forget what your real face looks like. You start prioritizing acceptance over authenticity, approval over peace, and conformity over individuality. And the worst part, even after all the bending and adjusting, you still never feel truly accepted. You only feel tolerated. One of the greatest signs of strength is not in how much you can endure, but in knowing when to walk away. Too often, people remain in situations, relationships, or environments long after their spirit has been broken, simply because they fear letting go. They tell themselves, maybe things will change. Maybe if I give more, they'll finally see my worth. But here's the truth. When someone shows you repeatedly that they do not value you, continuing to stay only devalues yourself. Walking away is not about pride, it is about self-respect. It is about saying, I refuse to spend my life where I am overlooked, disrespected, or unappreciated. Your presence is a gift, and the moment you realize that, you'll stop begging for scraps of acknowledgement from people who are blind to your value. Sometimes we stay in the wrong places because we confuse loyalty with worth. But loyalty to others should never come at the cost of betrayal to yourself. Think about this. Every minute you spend where you are not valued is a minute stolen from the people and opportunities that would celebrate you. By holding on to toxic environments, you close the door to healthier, more uplifting spaces. Life is too short to keep investing your time and energy in places that do not multiply your worth. Walking away does not make you weak, it makes you wise. Weakness is staying where you are diminished just to avoid the discomfort of change. Wisdom is realizing that your peace is more important than your fear of the unknown. Walking away means you finally choose yourself, and that decision requires courage. And let's be honest, walking away is not always easy. It may hurt, it may feel lonely, it may even break your heart for a season. But what hurts more is staying in a place where your soul is slowly suffocated. The pain of leaving is temporary, but the pain of staying in undervaluing environments is permanent. When you value yourself enough to walk away, you send a clear message to the world, I know my worth, and I will not settle for less. That message not only protects your energy, but also attracts the right people and opportunities that align with your true value. Your energy is one of the most valuable assets you have in life. It determines how you think, how you feel, and how you show up in the world. Yet too many people spend their energy carelessly, giving it away to arguments, toxic people, draining environments, and battles that don't even matter. If money were leaking from your wallet, you would rush to fix it. But when energy leaks from your soul, many people ignore it until they are empty inside. Protecting your energy means treating it like gold. Just as you wouldn't leave your most precious possessions lying around for anyone to take, you cannot afford to let everyone and everything have access to your inner peace. Every conversation you engage in, every relationship you maintain, every place you spend time in, these are withdrawals or deposits to your energy bank. And if you're not careful, you'll end up bankrupt emotionally, mentally, and spiritually. Think about the times you've given your attention to unnecessary conflicts. Did that situation uplift you, or did it drain you? Think about the people you constantly have to explain yourself to, defend yourself against, or prove yourself to. Are they helping you grow, or are they slowly exhausting you? Every moment of frustration, every forced smile, every ignored red flag is a withdrawal. Protecting your energy means deciding that not every battle deserves your presence and not every person deserves your response. It also means being intentional with your boundaries. People who do not respect your boundaries are people who do not respect your energy. And if you allow them constant access, You'll find yourself burned out, resentful, and questioning your worth. But when you create firm boundaries, when you say no without guilt and yes with clarity, you take control of your emotional wealth. Your energy shapes your destiny. When it is healthy, you attract peace, clarity, and opportunities. When it is drained, you attract confusion, chaos, and negativity. That is why you must guard it at all costs. Don't waste it on gossip. Don't spend it on negativity. And don't pour it endlessly into people who never pour back into you. One of the most damaging habits people develop is the tendency to smile and stay silent even when they are being disrespected. We do this because we don't want conflict, we want to keep the peace, or we're afraid of being seen as difficult. But every time you force a smile in the face of disrespect, you send a silent message, not only to others but also to yourself, that their behavior is acceptable. And with each silent tolerance, your self-worth is chipped away. Disrespect comes in many forms. It could be someone constantly interrupting you when you speak, mocking your ideas, dismissing your efforts, or even making jokes at your expense. It could be subtle neglect or outright mistreatment. And instead of confronting it, many people simply laugh it off, change the subject, or plaster on a smile as if nothing happened. But the truth is, every fake smile is a wound to your dignity. You see, disrespect doesn't always start loud. It often starts quietly. A little comment here, a small dismissal there. And because you smile and let it slide, it grows. The more you normalize it, the more it becomes the standard. Before you know it, you are trapped in relationships, workplaces, or social circles where your worth is constantly ignored and you are expected to endure it with grace. That is not grace, that is self-betrayal. Your smile is powerful. It should be a reflection of joy, peace, and our authenticity, not a mask to cover pain. When you use your smile to hide disrespect, you drain your spirit. You teach yourself that your comfort is less important than someone else's bad behavior. But protecting your energy means refusing to perform happiness while suffering silently. Setting boundaries does not make you unkind, it makes you clear. Speaking up when you are disrespected does not make you confrontational, it makes you courageous. Refusing to smile at mistreatment does not make you rude, it makes you self-respecting. When you stop smiling through disrespect, you reclaim your power, your dignity, and your peace of mind. The people around you shape the quality of your life more than you may realize. Energy is contagious. Spend enough time with negative, dismissive, or toxic people, and you will slowly absorb their energy. But when you place yourself among people who respect you, celebrate you, and uplift you, your spirit grows stronger, your confidence rises, and your self-worth becomes unshakable. That is why it is so important to surround yourself with those who value you. When people value you, you don't have to beg for recognition. They see your worth without you constantly proving it. They encourage your growth, they listen to your voice, and they honor your presence. They don't just tolerate you, they appreciate you. And that difference is life-changing because being valued is fuel for the soul. Ask yourself this: who are the people in your life that leave you feeling lighter after a conversation? Who are the ones who challenge you to rise higher, not by tearing you down, but by believing in you? Who are the people who clap for you even when it's not their turn to shine? These are the people you need to hold close, because being surrounded by the right circle is like standing in sunlight. You naturally grow, you naturally bloom. On the other hand, staying around those who do not value you will keep you stuck in cycles of self-doubt. When you spend time with people who belittle your dreams, ignore your efforts, or constantly take Without giving, you begin to question yourself. You start lowering your standards just to keep them around. But the truth is this: if someone cannot see your value, it does not mean you have none. It means they are blind. And why would you keep sitting in front of the blind, waiting to be seen? Life is too short to waste it around people who cannot recognize the gift of your presence. You deserve to be in spaces where your laughter is cherished, where your contributions are acknowledged, and where your very existence is respected. The right people will never require you to shrink in order to be loved. Instead, they will create space for you to grow bigger, louder, and stronger. One of the biggest traps in life is the constant chase for approval. So many people spend their entire lives trying to be liked, trying to fit into expectations, and trying to earn validation from others who may never truly value them. And in this endless pursuit, they sacrifice the very thing that matters most: peace of mind. But here's a powerful truth: the need for approval will always make you a prisoner, while choosing peace will always set you free. When you live for approval, you hand over the keys of your happiness to other people. Their opinions become your compass, their acceptance becomes your fuel, and their validation becomes your worth. But the danger is this: what happens when they disapprove? What happens when they reject you, criticize you, or dismiss you? If your identity is built on their approval, then your self-worth crumbles the moment they withdraw it. Peace, on the other hand, is unshakable. Peace does not depend on whether people clap for you or criticize you. Peace is rooted in self-acceptance, in knowing that your value is not up for debate, and in refusing to let external voices control your internal state. When you choose peace, you no longer feel the need to explain yourself endlessly, to prove your worth, or to compromise your truth for someone else's comfort. Think about how many times you've said yes to things you didn't want to do just to keep someone else happy. How many times have you bitten your tongue, hidden your feelings, or agreed with something you disagreed with simply to avoid being disliked? That is the cost of chasing approval. It steals your peace, one small compromise at a time. And no amount of approval is worth the loss of your inner calm. Prioritizing peace over approval means being willing to disappoint others if it means being true to yourself. It means recognizing that not everyone will understand you, not everyone will support you, and not everyone will like you. And that's okay. You don't need universal approval to live a meaningful life. What you need is alignment with your values, clarity about your worth, and the courage to protect your mental and emotional space from unnecessary noise. Your smile is not just a simple expression. It is energy, it is light, and it is influence. A genuine smile carries healing, hope, and warmth. It has the power to brighten someone's day, to soften a heavy heart, and to create connection where there was once distance. But this very power is the reason you must be careful about where, when, and to whom you give it, because your smile is not cheap. It carries your essence, your dignity, and your self-worth. Too often, people waste their smiles in places where they are ignored, unappreciated, or taken for granted. They plaster it on in rooms that don't deserve it, around people who have no regard for their presence, just to appear agreeable or to keep the peace. But every time you force a smile where your spirit is not honored, you dilute its true power. A smile should never be used as a mask to cover pain or as a tool to make others comfortable while you remain unseen. Your smile is sacred because it reflects what is inside of you. When it is genuine, it radiates authenticity, joy, and confidence. But when it is given out of obligation, fear, or the need to please, it loses its meaning. Protecting your energy means also protecting your smile. It means choosing carefully where to invest it, ensuring that it shines in places where it will be received, respected, and reciprocated. Imagine your smile as a rare jewel. You wouldn't hand it over to someone who doesn't even recognize its value, nor would you leave it in spaces where it is overlooked. Instead, you would share it with those who cherish it, who are uplifted by it, and who see the beauty in it. The same principle applies to your life. Save your smile for people and places that truly honor it. Because when you smile in the right environments, it doesn't just light up others, it recharges you. It strengthens your sense of worth, it reminds you of your power, and it becomes a reflection of the peace you carry within. But when you give it away carelessly, it becomes a mask, and you risk losing touch with your own inner joy.